Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. Paul Jasson with you. Thank you for joining us. Pleasure to be with you as we tape on a nice fall day here in Lancaster and Fairfield County. We're here in the beautiful downtown lobby of Fairfield Federal, and moving into that time of year. Before you long, we'll be saying, have you got all your presents bought yet? Because that's just right around the corner, faster than you realize, or I realize anyway. So we've got that ahead of us. It's been a little over a year, maybe almost a year and a half, since Lancaster got a new police chief. Nick Snyder was named May of 2022, and he's still in office. We don't have any breaking stories here, and he's with us today. You're still the chief? I didn't blow that, did I?
Just barely, still the chief.
Hanging in there, on like a claw, Mark.
Absolutely.
Chief Nick Snyder is with us today. Chief, like I say, it's been a year and a half now. What are your reflections on that time?
I'll keep it short and simple. It's been awesome. I really
Great.
have enjoyed the time being chief so far, and I think I've really enjoyed working with the people that I came up through the ranks with. It's good to be able to make some decisions and make some progress there that we've all kind of wanted, and it's been great. I have no complaints, honestly.
How long were you in the ranks prior to being named chief? I forget now.
I started in January of 2005, and I was in the patrol division, detective, narcotics for most of that time, and I started my promotional processes in 15. So sergeant, lieutenant, captain, DC from 15 on.
And it just flashed through my mind again. I'd been remiss if a couple weeks ago I didn't mention that a good friend of mine who I grew up with, paperboy with on the west side, Tom Chilcote, passed away. And I'm sure you knew and had met Tom, because he's been gone 4 or 5 chiefs ago now. But he was an MP. He was our neighbor in the block. We just grew up together. But he was a great kid.
He was a great chief too. I never had the chance to work for him, but I will say the past few days and dealing with just arranging some of that with the family and whatnot, I've heard nothing but high praise for him as chief, and it really kind of sets the tone for the job that you do.
And he had 2 brothers that were firemen, so everybody always talked about the Chilcotes were great public servants.
Yeah, we don't hold that against him, but he definitely was a
Back
great
in the
chief.
day, it might have been okay. Not now. I remember the basketball game. It was like it was yesterday when you guys were. That was a fun day.
That was a great day.
What was it? Badges versus
Battle of the Badges.
Battle of the Badges.
We had a lot of fun.
That was a great time. We're looking forward to it. We'll do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to go recruit some basketball players now.
You won.
I don't think I'm cutting.
That was a close game. There.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a great time for both teams.
Let's talk about some things as the chief here. The fair ended a couple weeks ago, and the couple times I was out there, great presence by the Lancaster Police Department. I'm sure that's intended.
Absolutely. So unfortunately, and not to bring the interview down, you hear about all the tragedies that have occurred across the nation at public events and whatnot. So when we have them here in Lancaster, we really take that to heart. And it's impossible to plan for everything, but we try to plan as best as we can when Lancaster has large community events like that. And so that's why you see the heavy officer presence, and not only just the numbers. We try to interact as much as we can when we're at those events too, because we want to be seen and trusted, and we want people to tell us things if they see something suspicious.
I always enjoy watching young people come up to policemen, because I remember how big that was for me when I was little. I was in awe of a policeman in the uniform and looking pretty straight. That was, and I enjoy seeing it at the fair.
Yeah, it's fun. It comes full circle. I remember that feeling too, and I'm really proud of the men and women there and the professionalism they put out. But it comes full circle because now that I'm not in a black and white car anymore, pushing a patrol car in and out of the vehicle all day. I'm in awe of them again, because of the things that they do on a day-to-day basis that I'm not dealing with anymore. It really makes you grounded and kind of fight for what they need a lot more. So it does come full circle.
And you're a local boy, so it came up through the ranks, so you've seen this pretty much your whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big shock to the system when you join the police force, because the area that you grew up in, I was choosing either here or I was choosing Columbus Police Department. And Dave Bailey, the chief at that time, absolutely sold me on working for him and working for Lancaster, and I don't regret that at all. But it's a shock to the system to police in the area that you grew up, because it's a whole other world you never knew even existed in your own backyard.
So was Dave your first chief?
He was my first. Well, Randy Lutz was my first chief, and he was a great chief too. But Chief Dave Bailey was the deputy chief at the time, and he became
and then
chief.
became.
Yeah.
Yep. Good guy. Good guy.
Absolutely.
We talk about things in the community. You have a community services unit that you pride yourself on, and especially now because you're really beefing that up to be even bigger.
Absolutely. So flat deployment, where you have just shifts, respond to calls out on the street, is good, and it's necessary, and it's the backbone of a law enforcement agency. But really what we found is really integrating with the community and having outreach is a huge part of it as well. So that unit used to be staffed with a sergeant and a DARE officer, and over the last year we've changed that to include 2 community services officers, a DARE officer, and 4 directed patrol unit members, including the K-9 unit. And all of them have different jobs, but all of them combine to do a lot of community outreach programs, public events, and really what has blown up for them has been our recruiting. They're heavily involved in our recruiting, going out to the academies, just doing a lot of solicitation for the PD, and we've been able to bring in some very good candidates over the last year.
That's probably, maybe it had to happen, but developed into a big deal was going out and actually trying to recruit people, not just, we'll open the doors, give a test, and see who shows.
That is absolutely 100% true. So I hate always saying this, like when I started, I hate doing that, but when I started, you were lucky to get a job in law enforcement, and you would go and test, and there'd be 500 people around you wanting to test. And now, I don't want to say that it's not worse, it's just different. Now we have to go out and recruit, but in doing so, you get to identify those good people with a good spirit and a good soul. You could identify those type of people and bring them in, whereas before it was a numbers game. So,
would you hit that on just the way the society is in general right now, the last defund 5 years or however long that's been going on?
I think so. I think the societal image has a large part to do with it. I think also wages have come up across the nation. And I think public service used to be an area that it wasn't the highest paying, but it was a good paying job you could get. And there were standards and practices to make sure it wasn't unfair when you got hired. So I think that just in general, the nation being a little bit more profitable and prosperous has also kind of pushed it down. But no doubt societal image has been a big deal, and that's why it's even more important for us to make sure we're hiring a good human being first. There's a lot of agencies that will hire and make sure that you have what's called OPATA certification, or make sure that you're an officer first, because they can bring in that person at a lower cost and they can start right away. And luckily, thank goodness, the citizens of Lancaster allow us to hire human beings first, and then we can send them to go get their certification. It takes longer, but you get a much, much better officer in the end.
Start out a lot higher on the hiring scale, with a good person.
Yeah, absolutely. It just less problems in the future, more community involvement, and just a better human being in general.
That kind of leads right into this. Staffing, pretty good shape. I think whenever I talk to the mayor about staffing with fire and police, or wherever I talk to the fire, staffing is an issue. You guys pretty good shape?
Absolutely. I think if I got my numbers correct, in the annual reports in 21 we had 58 officers. In 22 we had 65 or 66, and in 23's annual report we'll have 75 officers. Okay. So we've been really putting the pedal to the metal on that.
Very good. And we'll have some other things we want to talk about, things going on here, but I wanted to mention that I ran across a picture, and I didn't know this when we interviewed maybe a year ago. Your great-grandfather, George Neely, in the 40s, was the police chief here in Lancaster, Ohio. We've got a picture. We're going to put that up.
Yeah. So I think I've done a good job. If you didn't know that before, I always hid that fact when I started here. I wanted nobody to know that was my great-grandfather, because of obviously the rousing that you would take for that. But once I kind of got out of the realm of being able to be...
Can embrace it?
Yeah, I could embrace it now. But man, when I was on patrol, I didn't want anybody knowing that. But yeah.
It's a great picture too. And you and your brothers, you can sort of see that.
Yes.
George Neely in the 40s with police chief here. You can see that?
Oh yeah. I never got meet him in person, unfortunately, but every time I see pictures, the resemblance is pretty stunning. So, yeah.
I want to give credit to a classmate of mine, Sandy Snyder Christian, who got me that picture of your great-grandfather, and that's on display down at the police station?
It is, yes. I think he has his picture a couple places, but that headshot is on display down there. We display all our we display our whole retired staff at the police department, and so he's down there.
Nice.
Yeah.
We talked about police chiefs and a former one, and Tom Chilcote passing away. Another one who was a good friend of mine who's been gone quite a few years now, Bill Parrish, passed away a long time ago now, but he designed the emblem for the Lancaster Police probably 30 years ago. I'm not sure when, 25 years ago, but that's changing a bit.
It is. It's and no slight to the emblem, no slight to his design, but I just think 30 so years have passed. The men and women at the police department wanted somewhat of a new identity, so we got a lot of input from the patrol ranks and the investigative ranks on what they wanted to see on it, and we couldn't fit everybody's ideas in one place, but I think everyone will be happy with the finished product.
We got a picture of that we're going to put up. Did you have some input on that, what you thought, or are there other people that are in charge of that?
So the process was fairly informal. Most of what I wanted to do is just see what the patrol division wanted, and just to give a quick backstory of it, it's not so much of the graphics that they suggested, but kind of the ideas. And what you'll see is most things are in 3 parts, so there's 3 stripes to it, and they all have different colors. They're differentiated by colors, and one is for the sworn members, one is for the communication technician staff, and one is for our professional staff. And so it's kind of a creed that's on the new emblem, and you'll see everywhere on our letterhead, our website, social media, etc. You'll see that emblem, and you'll see the 3 striping that designates that kind of creed of the 3 divisions that make up our department. And then you have some other things. Actually, Fairfield Federal is in the patch. There's a shadow of the downtown, like a backdrop, and this building is in that as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, when will that take shape? Do we?
Well,
another year?
You can go out and find it right now if you go to the website. If
Sure.
you go to social media, you can see the redesign on like, say, profile images, or I'm not sure what to call them anymore. But the official patch that'll be on the shoulders, the officers have until March 15th to switch that, and that's just to give them plenty of time to switch out their shirts.
Because there's a lot of places that need to be on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot
Cars,
of switching.
shirts.
Yep, everywhere. So we need to give ourselves plenty of lead time there.
Our guest is the current Lancaster Police Chief, Nick Snyder, and so we've seen what your thoughts are in the past year. What does it look like for the new year? Got about a minute.
I'd say for the new year, we really want to concentrate on our professionalism and training. So we've done a lot of changes at the police department, and I don't want to say change is never over. I think if you get comfortable, you're not improving. So we're going to continue being a little bit uncomfortable within the ranks so we can improve. But I really want to see us focus on professional training over the next year or so, and to get our officers all bought into just being a better product for the citizens. So.
Well, like I say, just looking at how you are, whenever I see everybody at the festival down here, at the fair down there, your presence is great. I think it's a good community to be a policeman in. You work well with the administration, with the sheriff.
Sure.
Everything that's all a plus.
We're in a good spot, and I always say this isn't my doing. I inherited a Ferrari. Like the prior chiefs did a great job setting this department up, and really all I'm doing is driving their car. So.
Well, I hope you don't get a ticket.
Yeah, we'll see.
Lancaster Police Chief Nick Snyder with us today. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon again.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Appreciate
We'll be
it.
back in just a moment.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairfield what it is.
Dagger Law has more than 110 years of experience in nearly every aspect of the law. When we're not just helping clients, we're helping the community. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and around town because we live and work here too. We are your neighbors, and we want to help you when you need it. When we help each other, we're stronger. Our community is stronger. Creating a strong, vibrant, healthy, and safe community is everyone's responsibility, and we take the responsibility seriously. We are local, we are trusted, we are experienced.
Fairfield County has so many wonderful resources for those in addiction with mental health issues. There's so many great court supports to promote accountability so that there's just a positive change across the board. There's so many great interactions within all the community agencies. The Adam H Board is wonderful at providing resources for the whole population to be able to make sure that all those barriers are met and that those needs are taken care of.
I like working in Fairfield County because it provides me the opportunity to make positive change where I live. Fairfield County has a great network for veterans to help. It makes me proud that we know we take care of our veterans here.
I'm kind of new to it. I've been here for about a year, but it's interesting because you get a little bit of everything. We're right here smack in between the big city of Columbus and Appalachia. So you get to work with all kinds of people, get to do all kinds of things. But my favorite thing about Fairfield County is the people. They are passionate, they are fun, they are engaged, and it's a great place to work.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Certainly want to thank our police chief, Nick Snyder, for being with us. Always fun to talk to the chief about the things that have gone on and looking ahead to the end of this year and then into 2024. He's a bright young chief, and we're fortunate to have him here, so we appreciate him stopping by and saying hello and give us an update on the Lancaster Police Department. Events that are going on are back full go now. Of course, everything is, and nothing's being held back anymore. So 20 years ago, an idea was had by a group of people to have this event called Freedom's Never Free. And here we are, fast forward, the location has changed from Baltimore, from the airport, out to the fairgrounds now. And for 20 years this has been going on, and this year it's bigger and better than ever. And this is the 20th anniversary, and we'll be talking about all the things they've got going on at Freedom's Never Free. It's November 2nd through the 4th out at the Lancaster Fairgrounds. And with us is Bill Reed to talk about that. Bill's been so involved in that for so many years. It's really a labor of love. You folks that helped Jeannie, who kind of was the idea person behind this for so many years, and she's kind of gotten rid of a little bit of that. But this thing is really big deal now.
It is. It just gets bigger, which is great.
Oh yeah.
But it's still one of the best kept secrets in Fairfield County because there's still a lot of people don't know about it. So.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because it is really, like you say, a well-kept secret. But it's a wonderful event. The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of November. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yes. At the Fairfield County Fairgrounds. And this year it's the 20th anniversary, and they're highlighting the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War and the 70th anniversary of the Korean War. And over the years they've highlighted World War II and Korea and the Afghan wars and Desert Storm. All these great memorials are brought in this year, and this sounds like this year as they think of veterans and the military and the first responders. Sounds like they're going to have quite a display down there. Have you seen pictures of this?
What we're going to have this year, the Gold Star Mothers is bringing their memorial in. Freedom's Never Free. We'll have our Korean War Memorial set up. We'll have our...
Would that be in the Ed Sands building there in the back inside?
The Korean War Memorial is big enough, it'll be outside.
Out by the flags down there?
Yep, more than likely. That's where we usually do it.
Sure.
And then First Responders Memorial, it'll be inside the Ed Sands building. And the Small Wars and Conflicts Memorial, it'll be inside also.
So almost a greatest hits, some of the really important ones that you've had in the past are coming back. And this takes a long time in planning to get all this kind of to come together on just 3 days here in Lancaster.
Right, we planned for like 10 months.
You know. And you got a group of people that are pretty dedicated that work on this?
There's a handful of us that are in it knee deep, and we can always use help.
Well, Bill Reed is with us from Freedom's Never Free. So let's see, it all begins at noon on Thursday, the 2nd, and the escort rolls in here, and that's always pretty impressive too, when you see all the bikers, all the responders, the highway patrol, the sheriff, the police, everybody leading it through the city. That's a pretty neat entrance as it rolls into the fairgrounds.
Yeah, it's a new time this year. It's a little earlier.
Noon, yeah.
They still assemble at the northbound roadside rest between Rock Bridge and assemble at 11. Kickstands up at 11:45, and they should be rolling into the fairgrounds.
And they're pretty good on time. I mean,
right.
Obviously, they don't have any problem on the highway. They can go whatever speed they want.
And they'll get off 33 right there at Broad Street and come clear up Broad Street right into the fairgrounds.
Well, it's impressive. If you can make it to the fairgrounds on that entrance, again, that's noon. They're supposed to arrive at noon at the fairgrounds. They'll come in the Broad Street entrance right there and come all the way back to the Ed Sands building there in the back. It's a pretty neat thing. And again, 50th anniversary, this is of the Vietnam War, the 70th anniversary of the Korean War. And you're going to have displays inside the Ed Sands building, as it sounds like, and then you'll have some outside probably.
Yes, outside will be the Korean War Memorial, and then, of course, our Field of Heroes, all the flags.
Yeah. And the way it's, the opening ceremonies is for that, and the posting of the colors is at 4 p.m. on Thursday, and I think the way they sort of did it last year, maybe that was the first year they did it, they had the posting of the colors first.
Right.
And then a following ceremony following that. But that posting of the colors, and I forget the number now, it's grown every year.
This year will be 301 flags.
301. I bet there might be more by the time we hit it. No, closed it off.
Last night was
we closed it off.
meeting, and 301.
So 301. So every year it keeps increasing, and it's a lot of names, but a lot of great stories are in these 300 names.
That's why we have to start at 4 o'clock so we can get done before dark. And then from there we move up to the Ed Sands building for the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, and again, I would encourage anybody and anybody that's maybe given a flag, because they certainly are encouraging people who are have given a flag. If you're there, you're allowed to present that and walk it out to the display out there. Otherwise, the folks at Freedom Never Free will do it. But that's again, there's a little length to it because it's 300 names, but it moves along really pretty quickly.
Right, and you don't have to be deceased to sponsor a flag, and it's for active military, veterans, and first responders also.
Yeah, there's always a few first responders in there, and probably be more as it grows on. But 300 names, that's got to be encouraging to you folks to know that people still really care about that.
Right, and just because last night was cut off to get a flag for this year, you can sponsor a flag anytime.
Is it still $25?
Oh, no. It's $60.
$60. But the thing to remember about that, it's every year from that point on. Yeah. So you don't have to spend $60 this year to get a flag, next year 60 more. It's always there, and you could always make that presentation down there too.
Right.
And you encourage that.
Yes.
Well, that's again, it comes in at noon. The memorials arrive at noon on Thursday at noon. at the fairgrounds, and then at 4 o'clock they have the posting of the colors and then the ceremony in the Ed Sands building. That's always nice. I remember there's and I don't know what the program will be then, but you always have this silent drill team.
Right.
And they always do such a great job.
They'll be back again this year.
Okay.
Fairhope Hospice is going to have a pinning ceremony for the veterans again.
That's always nice.
We'll have a guest speaker.
Kristen Glazier, the CEO, she's always looking for. I've already seen her this year at the fair. She was saying, "Are you going to be there?" And I said, "I think I will be." And but that's always a nice ceremony. That, again, Fairhope Hospice is behind. And then the third, which is Friday, they have the poster contest voting that they're going to have, and then at 7 o'clock the dance.
The USO dance with the Nostalgics. That's always a big hit.
Nostalgics are great. And then it goes to the 4th, which is the Saturday, and they'll retire all the flags from the posting out there. And then something new this year, I saw that, and I didn't know what this meant, a pet parade. What in the world is that about?
Well, it's new, and people were encouraged to bring their furry friends or fur babies.
Fur babies, that's
dress them up in a patriotic attire. Registration is at 11 o'clock. They'll be judged at noon for a winner. Winner gets $50. And then at 1 o'clock will be the parade of all the entrants.
Nice. So that's on Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Ed Sands building.
Correct.
Out there, pet parade. Then at 3:30 they'll have the appreciation celebration. And they said they will announce the poster contest winners, and this is pretty neat. We'll put that on the screen here, but that's something new this year too. This patriotic poster contest.
Right. It's open to students, middle school. There's a category for middle school, and then high school. There's 2 different groups. Each group there'll be 3 winners in each group. They'll win monetary prizes.
Nice.
And everyone's encouraged. The posters should be delivered to the Ed Sands building by noon on Wednesday.
That's the 1st. Then they'll have the judging of that, and they'll be posted there for the whole weekend there, or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Right. There'll be 2 ballot boxes there. One you can cast your ballot for the middle school and in the high school.
Very good.
So
that'd be pretty neat.
Hopefully
cool
we get a lot.
Yeah, well, I hope so. And again, I think you try to change it up a little bit and come up with something different. The pet parade, the poster. Kids, they're always involved in this. They love this kind of stuff.
Right. And, we need to get the young ones involved. And the way it is with grandparents, you get the grandkids involved, the grandparents is going to show up.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, it is.
Bill Reed with us from Freedom's Never Free. So, Bill, they want to thank the veterans, military, and the first responders this year. As always, Freedom's Never Free 2023. It's November 2nd through the 4th at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds. It opens up noon on Thursday when things arrive, and then the weekend begins.
Right.
The weekend begins. And again, the flag ceremony is at 4 o'clock at the flat part, the parking area down there. And I will say that when that's done, that's pretty impressive to see. Well, now this year we'll see 301 flags out there. Very good. Well, thanks for all that you folks do for that. You do a great job, and we're fortunate to have you here, and we hope we get the word out.
Hopefully.
Sure. Bill Reed with Freedom's Never Free, November 2nd through the 4th at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds. It's going to wrap it up for Fairfield Today. Thank you. Have a good one.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.